So I
Previously
worked
on
for
Chilling.
different banks.
Okay.
I wanted to make a lot of money. I wanted to be very successful. And I pursued and achieved some level of success. But all of that was not the kind of success I was looking for. I felt more empty. Every time I would come to Uganda, I would see the need. And then I would remember the words of Ray Burnett, who started the African Children's Choir. His dream was to help African children so they can help Africa and be the leaders of Africa. And I felt like what I was doing was not enough.
This is Chilling.
Good evening and welcome back to the best of the good life more than ever. My name is Drago. Now, since last week, we have had a special gentleman on the show. This gentleman has a big heart, an extraordinary big heart, and is doing everything to make sure that this world becomes a better place. Who is this gentleman I'm talking about? For some of the viewers that are just joining in this week, that have not been with us since last week, I will start doing roll call, Because come on, guys, this is the best of the good life. You have to tune into one of the best shows on the land. So forget that whirling. So this gentleman is goes by the names of David SSEBULIME. What an extraordinary name, SSEBULIME. Where they come from, where? We shall find out. He grew up from a small town, from a small village in Masaka called Bwasandeku. Bwasandeku is an amazing place that had some misconception about it. People from there were known to be, victims of HIV, drinkers. But he said, you know what? I can't sit back just to watch that picture being painted at a place where I come from. I have to do something about it. So he had this huge dream of building what we call a fortress, or you can call it a safe haven for children to acquire free education. And it's very qualitative because that place is called Raise the Roof Academy, brags to be as one of the best from that region. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking too much because I feel like I have to give him a chance and you get to know him once again. Welcome back to the best of the good life. My name is Drago. I want to remind you again that if you want to get the best shoes in Uganda, you have to go to Annex. They're located at Capital Center. Nabugabo, you can find them in downtown. Also come to Gazelle Guest House, which is located in Muyenga along Bukasa Road. It's a gem. Ladies and gentlemen, man, I can't just stop talking about you. I feel like I get exhausted just talking good things about you.
Thank you.
How are you doing, David?
I am well. How
I
about
like your change of wardrobe. You have a great taste.
Hey, gotta look good for the audience.
Hey, you gotta look good.
Yes.
And you don't only stop at looking good, but you're also doing so much philanthropy work for this great country. Let's talk more about Raise the Roof Academy. Last week, we wanted to know about the programs.
Yes.
What are some of these amazing programs? Include health in one of those programs.
Yes. Thank you very much, Drago. Thank you for having me. And friends, welcome back. Well, we have 5 key programs when I really think about what we do. The first program is education. It's the foundation of what we do.
It's the core.
Exactly. It's the core program. We educate kids from nursery, all the way through university. That is a journey. So if that's your track, please go. And then we also send kids to vocational programs.
Okay.
So if you want to do plumbing, electrical work, all of that, that's all part of education. Kids learning math, science, and gaining vocational skills. Yeah. The other program we have is economic empowerment or community development. That is a program where we work with households. We give them goats. We encourage them to save money and all sorts of other things. Then we have the health initiative. The health initiative, we have a clinic, and every year at the beginning of the school term, each term we open up the school clinic to serve people in the community, especially in the first week of July, we will be running a week-long clinic. This is where people from all over Greater Masaka come on our campus, and we offer medical care. We hire doctors from Uganda and friends from the U.S.
Sort of like a medical camp.
Exactly. But it's broad. It's huge. Thousands and upon thousands of people come. It's free, and we offer care to all those who need it. And then we are also raising up a generation of community health workers. These are our parents. We are training them, and they go house to house, taking care of the families and offering health care to the last mile, to the least and the farthest in the districts. And then we also offer leadership. We're big on leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership is key. So we work with center leaders, people from the community. We have a pipeline of over 100 community leaders. These are leaders we're raising from within. And then finally, this is the newest. We've been doing it, but we're moving there. We've started the microfinance, creating a system dealing with all sorts of, loan sharks and all these people who prey on the poor. So within Raise the Roof, we're saying, how can we empower parents to save money, to invest money, to make money, and also continue saving their land and all sorts of things that are critical to a family flourishing.
David, it's for you. It's about the mission. It's not just about. It's not just about the classification. You know.
Yes.
So tell me, the very first beneficiary, who was this, and where are they now?
Well, so let me we started this work with 30 kids.
Okay.
Let me share with where one of them.
Who's
His name
that flagship?
is Isaac Kagera.
Okay.
And as I speak today, as we record this program, he's at KIU graduating. He is walking today. Our head teachers, the high school, the primary teacher, and the director of the head department are over there celebrating him. Kagera came to us as a young boy. He had to work really hard. He went to KIU and he was in leadership there. And today he is graduating. He's getting his degree. And we're already hoping to encourage him and also help him find a job in IT. He's a brilliant young man. He's a servant. He's dedicated, and he's embodying all the values of Raise the Roof. And then right this year, we're also sending another 19 students to university. And we hope to send more students to university.
All right, so we're going to take a break. We shall be back with the same conversation. Please don't move an inch. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere, please. Stay with us.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Thank you very much for staying with us. This is Chilling, and today we decided to chill with an incredible gentleman, David SSEBULIME, omusajja Omuganda.
Yes, sir.
You come from Masaka?
Yes. Tata Bamzala Masaka.
Yeah. Oyogera Oluganda?
kabisa
kati bulijjo lwaki obedde osumbuwa kuva wiiki ewedde
njogera Oluganda nze mpaya Oluganda
because when you start to speak English somebody could barely think you speak Luganda.
Neddira nnyo nyina kinsige
Yes sir.
Ndi musajja wa Kabaka wangaala Ssaabasajja Kabaka
tambulamu ng'Omuganda.
Onkoma awo taata bamuzaala Masaka Bulando ne muzzukulu wa Bulando ne muzzukulu wa Mbuga ne mutabani wa Mbuga Ezekiel yeebase Lusaka Makindi wano muzzukulu wa Bayiye Zebuloni Bayiye nkoma awo nkyalina okugira nja kunnyamba.
That's good enough. That's good enough. I love this. I love this. So, what do you tell these people, David? What do you tell the sponsors? What should we do to have more proactivity happening under that?
Yes.
What should we do? Like, seriously, because you have mentioned that and it's really so bothering me, saying that at times you get to promise what you can't give. You get
Yes. Well, here's the thing. I love to believe that what is missing in the world is not generosity. What is missing in the world are strong institutions that can advocate for people. There will always be poor people. Even Jesus said this in the Bible, the poor will always be with you. What we need to now focus on is building strong institutions to stand in the gap of the poor. Every Ugandan, every American, every Chinese, every Canadian knows a poor person. All of us ought to be involved in addressing issues of poverty, issues of injustice. Not all of us are equal, and not all of us are going to be equal. Some of my greatest heroes are people like Mother Teresa, people like Nelson Mandela, people like Martin Luther King,
great
people like St. Francis of Assisi, even this Pope Francis, and they're always calling us back to the neighbor, helping the neighbor, addressing the poverty within our community. And for me, I now define success as the number of people you're willing to bring with you. If you're on the top all by yourself, good luck.
No, because this whole lonely at the top really actually works.
Exactly.
But you had it all.
Yes.
You had it all as a banker,
Yes.
coming from that world,
I
that
was
corporate
in
world.
San Francisco Financial District.
But you felt empty.
Very, very empty. I felt very, very empty. And here's the sad thing. I saw American people telling Ugandan story. I would be in church and somebody would come up and telling people about Uganda, and I'm like, dude, I am from Uganda. I lived in the orphanage. I know the wars. I know my people better
that just
than anyone
parachute
else.
in and parachute out.
Exactly.
We're telling our story.
Exactly. So I thought I could also tell the story, and people will believe you. I always tell people, do not worry. If you've been in banking, banking is pretty much a sales job. You know how it works. Keep on telling the story. It will resonate with people. Even here in Uganda, I'll give you an example, Drago. Let me tell you something that I've learned. When we started in Bwasandeku, we could not get people to give 5,000 shillings towards the learning of their children. Our budget is supported partly by our parents. Right now, as I speak...
That's a bit highly more than $1.
Exactly. Right now, as I speak, I would argue 80% of our parents or the relatives of the kids in the program are willing to buy books, buy shoes, pay certain program fees for us to keep on operating. I am telling you, our parents, Ugandan people are very generous. Ugandan people have resources. Ugandan people are willing to pay the price. And all it takes is us as leaders to connect with people, show them where we could be. We're really behind as a continent and as a country. We're behind. That's the truth. There are others who would disagree. I do think we have a long ways to go, but we can get there because we have the will, we have the resources. Our people are trained. Ugandans are very able and capable. I've seen it amongst our parents. I've seen it amongst our staff. And so when we rise up, our friends in the US, I've seen people who are generous, who are compassionate, and they wish that for us.
David, don't you get tired? Don't you feel like you just want to walk away? Stop this. Just pack your bags and go to the US, have your best life and just forget about this.
Drago, on March 7th, 2011, we opened Raise the Roof with 30 kids with a budget of $250 in a wooden shack. Floor. You show this building. There was no concrete on the floor. Nothing. Benches.
The front door.
Exactly.
$250?
$250 with two ladies who actually I don't think had finished primary 7.
What could you do with that money?
Exactly, nothing. It was all faith and hope and a commitment and a dream. 14 years later, March 7, 2025, we celebrated. We have 1,784 students all the way from kindergarten through now university. And everyone is going to school. There was a year we had kids in over 40 schools. We could pay fees in some schools up to 12 million Ugandan shillings. Wow. Some schools, we were literally supporting over 40 schools, paying fees so they could run, sustaining these schools while running our school. And we still have students in other schools. This is what the power of vision does. This is what zeal does. Now, I'll tell you this. If you told me, David, stay on Wall Street or the financial district in San Francisco and make millions of dollars and go buy a yacht and build a big home, or come to Uganda and do this, I'll choose this again and again and again.
Because I was going to say, go back to that Bay Area in San Francisco and enjoy your life. Sip on a martini or something that is not alcoholic.
I have fallen in love with the children.
Wow.
I have fallen in love with the grandmas.
Wow.
I have fallen in love with our team, the staff, the teachers. I have fallen in love with this
country.
country.
Feels like a family.
Exactly.
I watch one of the videos that you direct people to go and check out on YouTube, and I saw these two sponsors, the ladies.
Exactly.
They were cherishing these kids. Kids were playing around the compound, and I could see nearly tears coming out of these ladies' eyes. The white people, they couldn't just believe what they're seeing, and it had nothing to do with greatest wealth. It had nothing to do with something that is amusement, but it's just humanly. You get what I mean? So it's that feeling that you're talking about.
It is that feeling. And everyone who comes here. Yeah. I had a lady one time in America tell me, it was on Ash Wednesday, 2018. Ash Wednesday is right before Lent. If you're religious, you would know what that means. Yeah. So I spoke in a church, and I spoke about God's heart for the poor and God's preferential option for the poor, and that God hates injustice. God is for the poor, and God calls us to address poverty and deal with poverty. And this lady, it was a big church. This is a big church called Brentwood United Methodist Church in Tennessee. She came to my office later on and she said, David, I do not know one poor person. And you said, in my sermon, I said, if you do not have a relationship with the poor, God says, if you do not have a relationship with the poor, you do not have a relationship with me. And this is in Isaiah chapter 58, verses 1 to verse 12. If you read it, the fast that God is seeking, God's heart is for the poor. God hates injustice. All these issues is what I told the people. So this lady comes to my office and says, Pastor David, I don't know one poor person. I said, huh? Tomanyi mwavu.
Temanyi.
Olimu wa America, mulimu homeless people. Abavu batwero dena wano tuyamba abavu gwetobamanyi. She said, I don't know one poor person. Yeah. So I said, let me find you a few poor people. So I found poor people in South Africa, a few poor people in Haiti, and a few poor people from Nashville. And then you guys say, Londako. You know, and I realized that many people sit in their cars, they've got blinders on, and they drive, and they never slow down to look at the people on the streets, or here in Kampala, or as we drive through these ghettos all across Kampala, and ask ourselves, how did we get here? And then how do we come out of this, whether it's each kafunda we have in here, how do we come out of there? Because it's going to get worse and worse. And I'm appealing to my fellow Ugandans. This is our time to step up our game. All of us who have a job, or to say, mwana chigwengendo kuyambako, mchala chigwengendo kuyambako nyumba. And let's stop the blame game. Yeah. Let's stop the blame game. Ugandans need to step up our game and say, we can make a difference and build this country. Superman is not coming. Preach. Catwoman is not coming.
Preach.
It's Drago and David.
Preach, Pastor David. Preach. I'm enjoying this. It's like music to my ears. Yo, this is huge. This is great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I even get a handshake. Oh, I'm not going to wash my hands. But yeah, as a Ugandan in the diaspora, and as a preacher, because I understand you have a congregation and a church, right?
Yes.
Tell me the honest opinion people have about Africa, and don't lie.
Okay.
You're a man of God, so don't lie. Be brutally honest.
So there are two types of people.
Yeah.
There are maybe three schools of thought. The first one is the one of ignorance.
Okay.
The one of ignorance is the people who have not, and the one of ignorance is people have never been exposed to Africa.
Yeah.
Everything they've seen about Africa is they've seen it through movies and TVs.
Yeah.
They've seen The Gods Must Be Crazy, The Tears of the
Yeah,
Sun,
yeah.
Last King of Scotland, Hotel Rwanda. That's what they think
Great
of Africa.
movies, by
Yes,
the way.
great
Great
movies,
movies, yeah.
but they are not the true picture of Africa or Uganda. And I tell them a story. Hey, Africa, when I get to Africa, there's a
Hey,
big
are
warehouse
you
at the
gaming
airport.
all the time?
Exactly.
Like, do you live with wild
Yes.
animals?
And so that's an issue of ignorance. I say
Yeah.
to people, well, educate yourself. Go to a library.
Yeah.
Go to the internet. You can find information about Africa that
And then
tells
in
a
the
different
news,
story.
Pastor David, in the news, it's really gets so worrying. The picture they paint.
Well, we non-profit people are responsible for some of that and the aid world because we've also...
you have this image of a child that has a
Exactly.
fly.
Exactly.
It's always the fly is on top of the nose here.
The aid, our industrial complex, so to speak, has been really doing that. So that's something we at Raise the Roof are addressing. In Raise the Roof, we treat our stories as treasures, not as stories to draw pity out of people. We want to tell people...
Famished, the kids are hungry,
Exactly.
they're on the street, they're stuck somewhere lonely, they're
Exactly.
crying, you know.
No, in Raise the Roof, we are trying to actually change that narrative. We're trying to show the strength and the character of the grandmas, of our teachers, of our children. I love the question you asked about the student, where is Kagera? Kagera is a talented, amazing boy. He is not a poor kid who deserves someone's benevolence and pity. He is a talented kid. We tell people, invest in potential. Invest in potential. Everybody actually gets help. In America, people get scholarships to go to school. I got a scholarship while I lived in America.
Yeah.
In Uganda, people get government aid.
Yeah.
That is no different from child sponsorship. The difference is the other one, they're investing in your potential. A scholarship or government aid is investing in your potential. Why doesn't child sponsorship mean that we're investing in someone's potential, not pity?
Yeah, Pastor David, we have to wrap this up, however much exciting it is. I
Yes.
feel like I can talk to you
Yes.
on and on and on and on for months,
Yes.
you know, and I never get tired.
Yes.
How do you see the future shaping up in the world of philanthropy in Uganda?
Yes.
You mentioned some of this
Yes.
right before I interrupted you.
What I've been reading about Uganda is there are lots of things popping up. Now, I think what I would highly recommend is that in Uganda, we've got to get organized. Most people enter the philanthropy world to make a buck. It's become this idea, people think it's easy. I get hit all the time by a bunch of people that want to do this work. And that's great. My encouragement for us as Ugandans is to actually organize ourselves, create systems and process that we can pass on the next generation. As I said, we need strong institutions. We need those who know how to do this work. We need, if you're coming to America and you need to figure out how to raise support in America, talk to people like me. I'll tell you the do's and don'ts. It's possible, and I think we need to we need to come together, collective approach, rather than being siloed. And then the funny, weird stories and ripping off people, especially raising the support, but you're not doing the work, that is a shame. That is actually a black eye on us as Africans. So my hope and my prayer is, let's actually rise up and get ethical. Let's put aside all of those things. And then here in Uganda, Ugandans have money. I see all the big cars people are driving. I see all the nice houses people are driving. Let's also tap into this. People here have resources. And I think Ugandans are not doing poorly as someone would think. Uganda is on the move, and it's a good one.
Pastor David, you have 1 minute. Look through that camera, right? Talk to any sponsor that didn't know about this.
Okay. Well, to all our friends here in Uganda, can I start with Uganda?
Please.
To all
Charity begins at home.
Yes, to all our friends, charity begins at home. Maybe you're watching this. Maybe I want to speak to the students. Maybe you just finished school and you want to go to university and you don't have money and you're asking, what can I do? Maybe you want to start a business. Here's what I would say to you. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. My recommendation to you is every day rise up and do something about it. Talk to someone. Advocate for yourself. That's the first thing I will advise you. Don't take the shortcut. Advocate for yourself. Fight for yourself. Speak up for yourself. Tell your story as best as you can, and you'll be surprised. People are generous. people are generous. Keep on telling your story. If I say no, if Drago says no, someone else will say yes. So that's a message to the young people and to anyone that wants to start a business. And to those of us who have resources, who have climbed the ladder of success, here's my question to you. Is the ladder of success leaning against the right wall? If it is not, here's one recommendation. Go find someone else and bring them to where you are. Help someone else. And then to the global community, wherever you are, compassion, mercy, and justice is a belief for Muslims, for Christians, and Jewish people, all of us in the Abrahamic faith. And so my challenge to you is find a way to tend to the neighbor, to the poor, to those dealing with all forms of injustice. We need each other. And this global village, right now, things are heated up. Everyone is asking what's coming next. And Mr. Drago, here's what I would say. If all of us lean into kindness and compassion and mercy, the best is yet to come. For us at Raise the Roof, we thank you. Get on board, join Raise the Roof, and join this movement.
How?
You know, if you would love to get involved in Raise the Roof, there are multiple ways you can do this. You can volunteer with us at the medical summer camp in July. Visit right to Raise the Roof, info at raisetheroof.academy.org, info at raisetheroof.academy.org. Send a message to our socials if you would love to volunteer. If you're here in Uganda or around the world, we have a huge campus and multiple programs and schools that you can be involved in. Number two, if you'd like to give generously in Raise the Roof, if you give us your money, we'll put it to good use. We don't abuse it. You spend it on ourselves. We invest it in the programs we do. And we believe in other organizations and other schools and in training others to do the same kind of work we do. So I encourage everyone, let's get on board. Let's do this work. Uganda is moving in a positive direction because of you and because of me and because of people like Drago.
Yes. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning into the show. Thank you, David, for showing up. You've been amazing.
Thank you.
Keep on doing whatever you're doing, man. God bless you, man.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for thriving Uganda to the world. Yeah? Telling them about our sweet country.
This country is amazing. Uganda, oh yeah, Uganda on the top. Thank you very much, Drago.
All right. So like I mentioned last week that we are now partnering with a shoe company. They call themselves Annex Shoes. They're located at Capital Center, all right? You can call these numbers if you want to get some cool shoes and look gentle as I am. I know Brian later on will give me a close-up of these shoes. You see how superb and expensively they look. Call on these numbers, 0787 592 845. Or you can call this other person who will receive you gladly on 0758 776 135. If you're coming from upcountry, tell them that Drago sent me, so I'm here to get the best shoes in the city, and they'll give you a discount totally, because they like customers who are happy. And I would also love to thank Kwazi Classic, who is located in Kisasi Mall. He's located on Kisasi Mall. He has a cool wardrobe and a wide collection of clothes for each and every gentleman that is out there. All these are gent stores, all right? And also, lastly, I want to thank Gazelle Guest House for this incredible location. It has been a superb 2 weeks of a great show with this great Ugandan American superstar. He's doing so much to make sure that the world becomes a better place. See you next week with another incredible guest. Bye and take care. Good night.